everyone, this is Michael W. Ford. Today is a video which I should have done years ago, but actually one of you suggested it in the comment section on one of my previous videos, and I'm so glad you did, because sometimes the obvious in things like that can escape me. So thank you very much for doing that. Now, I'm going to try to make this a very concise and direct and as simple as possible video on Lilith. And I want to start with the history, and prior to that, the basis of Luciferian, the Luciferian tradition and Lilith's role in it, and then history unto the present, the origins and all the connections of the queen of demons. I want you to understand, with Luciferian witchcraft, one of the things in my development of the path in the late 90s, through working with Thelema, such as Aleister Crowley's Babylon and the Beast Conjoined, those specific magical workings through which I would develop, highly inspired or deeply inspired by Jack Parsons and his Antichrist working, along with Marjorie Parsons Cameron and her art, such as Songs for the Witch Woman, which was poetry by Jack, and illustrations, paintings by Cameron. I knew the text before I knew those art pieces, which were published years later. But in the late 90s, my obsession, my true will was focused on the Adversary in a developing magical sense, removing Judeo-Christian dogmatic structure and goods and evils, and focusing really on the strength, the power, the wisdom, the balance in Luciferianism, the restoring, the supportive aspect to what was Anton LaVey's Satanism in a modern sense, his putting it together. Luciferianism was distinctly more a kind of balance between the spiritual and the material. The material is the basis, but both interact and react off of each other. The key is for the Luciferian, the black magician, to understand how to solidify and establish a sense of balance, and understand and develop those skills to use the material, the mind, with the imagination and then the spiritual, and work those energies in a give and take, continual fueling each other situation. That's why I discovered, from my workings unto the publication of Book of the Witch Moon and what would become Luciferian witchcraft, is that the Adversary, Satan, Samael, Azazel, whatever name, Lucifer, as the generalized, the light bringer, bringer of light, bringer of night. The Adversary is not just a masculine aspect or a visualization of a supreme deity. It's not a deity in that sense. It's the Adversary is composed of two aspects, the masculine and the feminine. Beyond gender, beyond our physical structures, but relating to the elements and aspects of the demonic feminine and the demonic masculine. Samael and Lilith, those together reflect the Adversary. In different cultures, this lord and lady, if you will, are manifest in different kind of names. If we look at especially highly developed in the initiatory process of the Sitra Ahra, or the other side, the anti-cosmic, the Qliphoth, developed from Hebrew Kabbalah from the 9th century through the medieval period into the 1600s. Lilith and Samael are primarily the reflection, the dark side, the other side reflection of those two aspects, which enhance and fuel each other and find reflection within the individual. You see this in not the Lucifer sigil, but you see it in the sigil of infernal union, as I call it, and you see Samael and Lilith. Those two conjoined with Leviathan, and this is focused in Kabbalah or Qliphothic Kabbalah, beget Sheol, or the beast, the goat head or beast head, reflected as Baphomet, a symbol of the Black Adept. And in Kabbalah, and in the Qliphoth, as a work that I'm soon to publish, focused on Satanism and left-hand path Kabbalah on a new level for my workings. You see here the tree of Sitra Ahra, the other side, the anti-cosmic realm, not bound by time, not bound by our cosmos, but beyond in the other, the realm of imagination and something stepped past into the abyss. You see Lilith in this, and Malkuth, Lilith, Nama, all reflections. Those two aspects are the entry point to the other side. You can also see herein the altar cloth, and these are available from the Luciferian Apotheca. We've painstakingly made them appropriate for altar works, but this is the sigil of infernal union as published in the Bible, The Adversary, by an excellent illustrator who took a classical but new approach to the alchemical, black alchemical transformation, the initiation aspects of liberation, illumination, apotheosis. There's so much in that symbol. If you take the time to study it, you'll understand. So here we go with Lilith. Lilith is first recognized in around 2400 BCE. And Lilith was known from a Sumerian king list whose male aspect of Lilith, so there are three classes. There are Lilu, males, Lilitu, that would be Lilith, and Ardat Lily, the handmaiden of Lilith. Those are three classes of vampiric or succubi spirits or ghosts, originally associated with storm spirits, also wind spirits, and into the Hebrew period, right before and during the emergence of Kabbalah, with the word for night. So those are interchangeable when it comes to Lilith. The father of the epic hero of Sumeria, Gilgamesh, was said to be a Lilu demon, a incubus, a male version, and that is a kind of demigod type thing. Lilu, as I said, was of four specific types of succubi, and their role was that they visited men and women, specifically men, during the hours of night, copulated with them by the imagination, and beget in between or of the abyss, ghost-like and bestial demonic offspring or children. They were both of storm, night, and wind. Pazuzu son of Ambu, king of the Lilu demons. If you want to know what one of the primal aspects of Lilith would have appeared like, well, there's two. There's Pazuzu, because he's the king of those, who supports and holds them back. Very violent spirit. And the one I'll get to, Lamaštu, who is actually a core foundation in Mesopotamia of what Lilith is and was as a deific mask, a type of energy. So Lilith is from the epic also of Gilgamesh and the Halupu tree, which was inscribed roughly around 2000 BCE. Now, Lamaštu, who is actually identified and by etymology and different god or spirit lists as Ardat Lili and Lilith. This is the original Lilith. Lamaštu was born a goddess, daughter of Anu, among the gods, and was cast. So she's the sister of Ishtar. She mentioned her desire before Anu was, I want to drink the blood and feast upon the youth, which the gods Anu threw her from the heavens down to the earth and into Irkala and the wild places of creation. She could exist in the anticosmos and within the material world, an interchangeable spirit type predator. Lamaštu was acting outside of what the cosmic structure was ordered. So she's original in the sense of disorder. She was lawless and she was a hunter. This type of spirit is present in all animals in the cycles of nature, the balance of nature. Lamaštu would be blamed on SIDS and other things, but she specifically, the spirit has a predatory aspect, which relates to our instinct for survival and to accumulate renewable life force energy, and the viciousness, the animalistic demonic aspect as well, reflected in sexuality. Lilith also was widely a vampiric type force for men, women, children, old. She had many names. Now, Lamaštu was known from Sumeria and all the way through the Assyrian, Babylonian, and then her names spread across the Mediterranean, into Greece, even parts of Italy, North Africa, into Turkey, Asia Minor, all under different names, well into the Arabic, after the advent of Islam. Tabi'ah was the name of Lamaštu or Lilith in that area. Now, the text of Isaiah in Old Testament, Lilith is mentioned and known, and that's roughly around 8th century BCE in Israel. She was featured along with Lamaštu, on a lot of talismans and protective devices. A lot of invocations are known in tablets describing Lamaštu and later on Lilith. Now, Lilith survived from Sumerian, as I mentioned, into the 1st century BCE in magical texts, and well into the after Christianity, well into the medieval period. Now, in Greece, or the Hellenic period, and in Greece specifically, Gielo is a name of Lilith, Abizu, Obizalth, Lamia. She's known throughout the lands of Turkey, and even in Zoroastrian Persia, Iran, in the Zurvanite, specifically, heresy within Zoroastrianism, Ahriman is made active and enhanced and fueled by Az or Je and Az, identical depending on which form of Zoroastrianism or Mazdian religion. But Az is called the harlot, much like she is in others, because she is free and able to be dominant just as a man and choose her method of lust, love, and to devour as well. So Ahriman and Azje are very intense demonic reflections going into the old heretical religion of Manichaeism, Manichaean writings such as the Kephalia, etc. This is Lamaštu as drawn and featured in my work Sebeti. She has the therionic or composite aspect of beast, demon, human, reptile, all types of aspects, and is a fluid shape changer. Now, understanding Lilith, going into, and this is a talismanic sigil with all of her old, authentic, in cuneiform and English, her names and the signs of which she can be called, or a shadow of that energy can be called. In the medieval Qliphothic writings, and keep in mind Hebrew Kabbalah writers, the mystics who developed Hebrew Kabbalah, coming from Judaism influenced by Gnosticism and Coptic magic and Hellenistic religion, Gnosticism. They are writing of Lilith and Samael on the other side as something that is evil and must be spiritually fought against and resisted. Luciferians embrace the other side as a whole, rejecting or having no need for the tree of life, as that's based on the monotheistic Yahweh, or what would become the Christian deity and the Hebrew deity, whose traits and nature and son are contrary in almost all ways, an alien to the force of will and the joy of living and in death of the Luciferian. So Samael and Lilith are depicted as very malignant, destructive, sinister, satanic energies. And these deific masks are that. But Lilith and the other goddesses of Lilith, other Lilitu type spirits, Nama and Igrat Malat and Mealoth, rule over the equinoxes and have 480 legions of Lilith or Lilitu spirits, demons that come forth. They hold sexuality, which brings one from like Hebrew religion or the structures of cultural appropriate behavior. Lust and sexuality and desire are highly frowned upon in monotheistic religions almost entirely. And we're not anti-Kabbalah Luciferians. We study, we respect, but our path, our internal path, is to embrace and balance and control those energies. So Lilith is the Shakti, the fiery serpent that motivates and inspires. And we can approach it in the material aspect in that it invigorates with imagination, the aspect of Samael or Iblis or Ahriman, and those elements found within our mind, body, and spirit are born together, forging and enhancing our consciousness, uniting with our higher self, the daemon, thus becoming as the offspring, Cheoah, or the beast, or Baphomet. That is the essence of Lilith. Lilith is, for women, a symbol of strength, power, wisdom, and rejecting oppression, misogyny, things like that. But for men, Lilith is a inspiring muse. And just like the adversary, you will be tested, tempted, and almost your body will almost want to rebel against what your discipline and will is driving towards. Don't fall into traps that will destroy you, because Lilith and the hordes of the left will devour those who are not eye to eye and respected and honored and strong unto themselves, just like in nature. But if you have the balance and you become that temple for the adversary, and if you can do that over time, it's a beautiful path, and one of healing, of nurturing, of violent predation, of conquering, of devouring, consuming the life force, consuming the life by dreams, and all the magical paths that go with that. And just for a atheistic Satanist, Lilith, Samael, the adversary, is all of those traits like you find in our basic foundation of like the 11 points of power, etc. That is the essence, and that's why you don't have to be either theistic or atheistic. It doesn't matter. It's up to you and how you think and your rationale. You're the one experiencing, not someone else who tells you that doesn't exist. You're the one that has to validate, and you can't push it on other people. This is the essence of Lilith. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions for a follow-up, let me know, subscribe, like, and until next time, Banama Araman.